everyone, thank you very much for joining me today. Today's reading is going to be how would they describe you to their best friend. We're going to put some Pantone cards out to begin with, or I'm going to do that. You choose the one which you think best reflects you or the colour that you're most drawn to. And we're going to do a spread, and I'm actually going to choose a song which I don't normally do because I did do it once and some horrendous song like I'm Gonna Shank Your Grandmother came up. So I couldn't use it and it sort of lost momentum. But I'm going to choose a song and then we're going to sum you up what they say on a board at the end and include the song. So hopefully it will work out. Well, let's see how it goes. Right, let's have a look for 3 cards. Card number 1, bottle green. I feel like I'm doing bingo. Card number 2, pirate black. And Pantone 3, 4, 5. So if you want to choose which one you're most drawn to, that's more of a minty green, isn't it? And then we'll get going. I would say that the first thing they would say to their friends is, I've just met somebody and he or she can talk my ear off. They just talk and talk and talk. It's very good for debate. They're very good and very interesting to be able to exchange ideas. But it's a type of person that you take home, invite them in for a coffee, and it gets a little bit more than coffee, and then they are just talking all night because you have got the Ace of Swords up here, you've got the Page of Swords here, the Knight of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. So this is, you probably keep people awake by talking. I wonder if you've got a lot of air in your chart and you just like to communicate. This person is saying fantastic, interesting for actually discussions and for debating and for exchanging ideas, but when do they stop? That's what they will start off saying to their friend. It reminds me of a friend I had when I was in my 20s, and she was a Gemini, and this is what I'm saying, somebody who, because you've got the Nine of Swords, which makes me think of nighttime, and there's still the Swords card there. So Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords is communication. This friend went home with somebody and they slept together, and she said he asked her to get out of bed and go home because she wouldn't stop talking. So I'm wondering if that's got a little bit of you about it. That's all I can pick up from all those. I'm not apologising for all those sword cards there. First impressions, Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Nine of Swords, Ace of Swords. Great ideas, very exciting, but talks. You'll talk your ear off. Right, let's have a little bit deeper into that. Okay, so all this communication that this person's picking up from you and explaining to their friend has got something to do that makes them, something that makes them feel quite grounded with regards to your contact and the way that you communicate. The Six of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, makes me think that this person finds you easy to talk to, and there's a depth of understanding, and there's a, not formality, what's the opposite? It's just like it's just easy to talk to you. There's just an ease of contact, and you're able to, what I would say, pick up bits from your childhood that you can bring into the conversation and make it flow quite easily. So this communication may not be so sexy at 3 a.m, but during the daytime there's something that just keeps you together. There's something to do with how you spark each other off with regards to conversation that makes this person feel at home. I wonder whether they come from a house or a home life that communicates a lot. Somebody who sits around the table and the rest of the family just spark each other off. It's very sort of chatty. That this whole feel has a real comfort feel and a real... Do you know what I'm thinking of? Is it Siren Tarot? And she talks quite often about It is Saturn Tarot. She talks quite often about Moon and Mercury contacts because she said she didn't have much communication with her husband, and that's not something I ever think about at all. But she finds it really important. And this makes me feel that there's this connection of communication being important to the both of you, and that's just something that holds you both together, perhaps, or has held you together. But I still wonder whether my initial thoughts were Nine of Swords and all those swords cards. You need to just sometimes stop. Nice feeling though. Nice feeling. This person would tell their friend that there's something about you where you just come across as being somebody who's very lucky. I wonder whether they've had a harder childhood. You may have had an easy childhood. You may have grown up. I'm getting a real feeling that you've grown up with lots of people around you, because this ease of communication. You've got the Three of Cups here with regards to your roots and your stability. So it's making me think that you possibly have an ease with other people. This person would say that you fit in well in group situations, and it's as if you can do anything that you put your mind to with the Magician and Three of Cups. The Nine of Cups again makes me think of somebody who has a big family, possibly could be the youngest one in the family, much loved and nurtured, and there's a sense of joy and there's a sense of fun, a sort of like quippy childlike fun with the Magician there and the Cups cards and all those sword cards. There's something to do with somebody who is good at keeping discussions alive makes, I'm thinking here, good at keeping conversations alive, somebody who knows how to throw a funny one-liner, but somebody who doesn't quip to hurt, somebody who likes conversation to kick off just because they like to see people happy. That's what they would be saying. Life and soul of the party, somebody they like to take into public situations, social situations, and they could stick you in a room and you could talk to anybody and you could make the party feel alive. Wow, you've got a really, really strong love nature. To me, this is the Sun and the Lovers. It's somebody who loves falling in love, somebody who lives for it almost. The Lovers card here is somebody, once again, who connects really well, and you bring the best out in people. The Sun card, the Lovers, the Eight of Pentacles. You've also got that stability there with the Magician and the Eight of Pentacles near it, of being able to actually put in the hard work with people. At the beginning, it feels a really fun, skitty feel of somebody who is very good with words, somebody who likes to play. This playful element is still here, but it's got a grounded feeling to it, and it's got, with the Lovers and the Sun being major arcana, a more significant feel to me, and the Magician there, of course, of somebody who can tunnel into people's lives and pick them up. Somebody who lifts the atmosphere and makes life feel as if it's a game in the best way, makes people smile and uplifts people, makes life feel light. That's what they would be saying. This to me, because this is like love nature and the ability to play, and this is how you fall in love. So you fall in love feet first. Well, this is really getting me now. You fall in love feet first, and it's like you live for falling in love. And this person, probably, if they're explaining you like this to a friend, it almost makes me feel that they feel exactly the same, because you've got the Sun and the Lovers. It makes me feel that they would be saying as well that you are the sunshine and lovers. Sunshine, I'm just saying sunshine. It's that Leo feeling of you make them feel the centre of your world and vice versa. And that's the feeling you get with the Lovers, because the exchange there and the sun. So you're bringing the light into the situation. You're making them feel warm, but they're also, you have that magnetic pull that you're pulling them towards you. And so there's like that communication with the Lovers where there's an exchange of love. And the Eight of Pentacles, to me, with the Queen of Pentacles here as well, there's not that many Pentacle cards here. There's communication, and there's excitement, and there's the ability to play with life. And the Eight of Pentacles here makes me think possibly that you have that solid foundation that you can work on it. Altogether, this makes me think of the Fool card. It was picking up your energy from this and it being multi-layered, because you have got the Page cards, which I think this person would think that you are fantastic at communicating. There's that, what I would assume is a funny bit here, because you've got so many swords, and then the Nine of Swords made me think of nighttime, and my mind flicked back to my friend Zoe, who kept her boyfriend awake all night talking till he said, get out, because you're just talking too much. There's that and there's a ease here with the Six of Cups, but you have got those Pentacle cards here. That's what I would say. And those Pentacle cards give you that grounding to this feeling of playfulness, this childlike feeling of enjoying communicating and enjoying life. What's that got to do with the myth? It was the multi-layered bits. Oh my God, that myth, I loved it. The HULUPPU tree. Right then. Something to do with your everyday routine. There's something to do with how people perceive you, where you actually give of yourself a lot. You've got the King of Cups, you've got the Six of Wands, and it makes me think that you just give out a lot. You give a lot of your emotions, and this is what they would be saying. You've got this, who was I? You're going to get lots of stories today, really sorry. I'll keep them short, but it was Celine Dion was talking about her husband, and this is what I do on my spare time. I was Googling her chart, and she was all Aries, but she was saying that, well, I'm on a moon or something, and she was saying that she fell for her husband, who seemed a lot older than her, because of the way he acted with people and how much he gave. This is what they would be saying about you. You've got the King of Cups, you've got the Six of Wands. There's something to do with either what you do every day, the people that you come into contact with, that you give a lot of yourself, and there's a warmth and there's an emotional connection there with how you actually interact with people. The Four of Pentacles here would make me think that they would also say to their friend that he or she at times needs to somehow cut off from giving too much, because it could be quite draining. In the larger sense, if they were talking to somebody and exchanging a conversation with somebody outside your circle, somebody that didn't know you, there could be an exchange that you look to people who don't know you very well, very lucky. There's a real feeling of comfort from home, and I don't know whether, even if you didn't get on very well with your parents or you didn't feel nurtured at home, there's this feeling that you have an inner abundance in this pile here. Because the Ten of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, makes me think that you have everything up your sleeve, like the Magician here, and you've got the whole caboodle, is that the word? And then the Wheel of Fortune makes me think you're just very lucky. The Nine of Pentacles, you don't need anybody else. There's a sense of independence about you, there's a sense of awareness about you, and there's just a sense of taking life as it comes and always getting the best out. This pile is beautiful. Let me keep going. So what else would they say to your friends? Do you know what else they would say to their friends? There's something very romantic about you, there's something very calm. There's not a feeling of desperation with regards to long-term relationships. It's not somebody who yearns to get married above all else. It's somebody who's very, I think, very much at ease with themselves and who they are, and there's an air of independence about you. The Four of Cups, the Knight of Cups, speaks of me of a romantic air, and the Four of Cups makes me feel that even though you're romantic, you're not needy. The Temperance card here is a Sagittarius card. Sagittarius don't need relationships. They want somebody to tumble through life with. So this is the feeling I'm getting from you. This is really nice feeling. If somebody were talking about me like this, I'd love it. I'll use these ones next. They would be saying in more intimate moments, apart from the fact that you probably don't stop talking, that there's something that is quite sensual about you. There's something about you that's quite confident. There's something about you that almost sparks a sexual response from them, because you've got the Tower and then you've got, what is that, the Ten of I can't even look at the cards sometimes. I'm trying to talk without looking at the pictures, but to be honest, with these cards, the actual number and the suit doesn't mean anything to me. So then I can see the Tower there. There's just a feeling of sexually, it's almost something they haven't experienced before, or there's something exciting. The Tower, and there's a fight going on here. It's just a feeling of electric in your sexual encounters, something that excites them. But you've got, I think it's got something to do with your air of independence and confidence, and just a really mature air of knowing who you are in this pile. And that's what they would be saying to their friends. They would be saying that sexually, that they find you exciting, like nobody they have experienced before. It's just that when you kiss somebody and it feels right, it's that electric feeling. You can almost feel like butterflies. And it has something to do with the... Do you know what I'm thinking of? The word pressure is coming into my mind here. There's something subtle with it. There's something to do with how hard, how close. I don't mean hard as in like hard, but how hard you... I don't know if it's got anything in it, but how hard you press together and how close you are. And it's almost as if you don't have to say anything. There's something to do with the way that you stand. There's something to do with the pressure between you when you touch each other that gives you an air of confidence, which I think is a really silly thing to say. It's quite subtle. There's a subtle feeling, but not. The Tower card here, I know it's like Mars, but there's that Pluto feeling here of undercurrents without it being obvious. And you have this feeling of being, I would say, almost like an airy feel about you. I haven't discussed the bottle green yet. There's an airy feeling about you here. And the sexual feel is strong but subtle. There's control there, and within that control, and it reminds me of Mars in Cancer, which isn't seen as very sexual, but it really is, because there's gentleness but confidence. So it's cardinal, but it's very intuitive. So it has that watery, forceful feel about it that is very sexy. This person would be telling their friend there's something very different about their contact with you, or the way that you come across, that is sexual but sensual at the same time. They would be telling their friends that out of all the people that they've ever met in their life, you are the person that they would want to travel with. This is like your ninth house, and you've got the Eight of Cups and the Four. Both of these are going on a journey. So your ninth house, I was going to talk about spirituality, but to me, this just feels like somebody who has a sense of excitement of the wider things in life. Somebody who likes different cultures, somebody who is very much drawn to people who are very different, likes the sound of accents, likes the thought of not being too grounded. And you have this Sagittarius card up here, you have this airy feel here, there's movement in this pack, and there's death. Somebody, they feel that you could almost jack your jobs in together and do something different. It's basically set up car salesman shop down in Mexico, that type of feeling. Just somebody, car salesman shop. This is an exciting pile. Your friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't know, talking to their friend would have a lot to say. This pile is busy, this pile is exciting, this pile is forward moving, and it's fun. I think they have seen you, and this is what they would be telling their friend. I have seen him, I have seen her with their friends, and they're always laughing, they're always doing something, they're always getting something started. And I think they would be saying, I want to be part of that. I'm trying to think what I'm feeling here. I'm feeling Sagittarius and I'm feeling air together. So there's like a Uranus fire feel about this. Somebody who ignites people and gets things moving and is very exciting, but almost has a detached attitude to life in general. And this is what they would be telling their friend, because you just seem to have everything sussed and have a sense of fun about it. But there's a real sort of, I would say, watery feel about your sexuality, where it's almost unspoken, the draw between the pair of you. And I don't know how to express that in words and how they would tell their friend. It's something quite sensual about your sexuality and the pull between the pair of you. It's like you could laugh in public, but behind closed doors it would be quite quiet, but strong. It's like that looking across a room at each other, not having to say anything feeling. But this person sees you with your friends and you're outgoing and there's a sense of fun about you. A feel of getting things started, and I feel that you very much take the lead in making life more adventurous. If there was a secret about you that they were telling their friends, or they felt there was something secret in their contact with you or their communication with you, they would say, there's a feeling of, this is the only pile at the end, these three here, that I've got a feeling of sadness. I don't know if there is a secret with regards to your connection, whether one of you, but somehow there could be not, I don't know, there's a Ten of Swords, the Queen of Swords. This is like the secret pile, possibly for something secret, and there's tears here, and the Two of Pentacles is a decision. So I don't know whether they would be saying to their friends, isn't it awful that I can't actually be with him, can't actually be with her? There's a real, this pile has a real admiration, and it's got a sense of, I'm trying to think of a really corny word. I can't actually sum it up. To me, it's beautiful because it has awareness and it has that playfulness and it has that admiration from the other person, and it also has that sensuality and that ability to basically see through life what is actually being offered, and make the most of it, but not take it too seriously. And this admiration from your friend, I wonder whether with this bottle green at the front, there's like a healing feel, because this doesn't make me think of a friend or a boyfriend or girlfriend who's looking at you from a lower level and admiring you. It makes me think of two people that are equal. It makes me think of two people that have worked really hard on themselves to get themselves on an equal level, and you just admire each other for getting there. Okay, right, I'm going to go to, oh my gosh, I'm going to do the music now. I have a fear over this since I did get that really bad. So I'm going to sum this pile up and I'm going to do it on a song. And please don't laugh. I don't want to ruin your pile here. Ignore it if it doesn't fit. I'm going to switch off and find the song. And I promise I will choose the first song I get to and look for the words. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, right. I've got your song here. I'm going to write it out before I tell you what it is. Are you ready? I did warn you. I don't know what chicky, psh, beep, beep, but free man free as a bird in a tree, beep, beep, and that's why he, she makes me sing. That's what they would be saying to their friend. This song is trained to Scarville by the Ethiopians, but to me, I was like, oh my God, when I got it, which I'm going to get the next two songs as well. To me, it's your pile. So there's something childlike, there's something innocent about you, and that's what they would be telling their friends. There's a sense of adventure about you. You make this person feel young, you make this person feel connected, and you make this person feel free. It very much with these cards here. For the 9th house, there's something Sagittarius about you. You just may have a strong Jupiter, I don't know, of they could see you as changing their whole world in a really fulfilling but devil may care playful energy. It reminds me of that. I don't know this quote. It reminds me of Freeze a Bird in a Tree, of that Jane Eyre quote, where if anybody knows it, please write it down. It's the most beautiful quote or something. If you were free, you would soar sky high. It makes me cry, that one. I don't even know what it is. If you were free, you would... Oh, something like something of a close-set cage, and if you were free, you would soar sky high. I wonder if your person just admires your freedom. You are an ideal friend. This person sees you as a friend, but there's some sensuality and some sexuality behind there that's quite powerful but unspoken. Right, I'm going to finish there, pile 1. Beep, beep, ticky, 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 ticky. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. Let's have a look. What would they say to their friend about you? Okay, I think on first impressions, I think that you're quite quiet in group situations. You may be somebody who is very easy to talk to one-to-one, but I think that you possibly may be slightly reserved when you're in groups, and I wonder whether this person has been in a situation and trying to get a conversation out of you, and there's been lots of people around, and you have possibly been a little bit more pulled back than usual. This person, I think, with regards to their first impressions possibly, could have tried to make contact with you and you haven't given them too much, and there's been a feeling of them thinking that you possibly don't give out a lot initially. I wonder whether you're quite reserved. The High Priestess and the King of Cups makes me think of Cancer together. And I know it's just water here, to be honest, Pisces and whatever water sign that could be, but it makes me think of somebody who could be shy in group situations. You've got the 3 of Wands and you've got the 5 of Swords, where one person actually leaves what I would say a group situation with an emotional content, feeling as if they haven't got enough out of you as they wanted to. Black card here could possibly be skin colour, could possibly be absence of revealing yourself to them. Almost, it makes me feel that on first contact that you have been together and they haven't got a lot out of you, and it's made them feel a little bit sort of bruised in some way, like you don't like them. I wonder whether you're a little bit more emotional, a little bit more reserved than them, and they're looking at you for clues, coming this is like a first meeting feel to me, and I think that you possibly just have been quiet. You may be the type of person that watches a lot before you actually say much if you don't know people very well. So on first contact, you just may keep yourselves to yourself. Some people react in different ways, don't they? You know, some people, when they're scared, are really quiet, and some people get louder. I go totally quiet. When we went sailing once, it was absolutely horrendous. We were in the middle of Greece, and the waves were higher than the it was Black Sea, and we'd gone out in a storm, and honestly, I thought we were dying. And my kids reacted in totally different ways. They both lay on the deck. One was, what a bad mother I am. One was like screaming, crying really loud and laughing at the same time. And the one who I thought would be louder was totally silent. I think when you are out of your depth, I wonder if you are totally silent. When you're with somebody you find attractive, and with this black colour here, makes me think that you've actually pulled out your energy here. And the Three of Wands makes me think of a group situation. So I don't know whether this person who's talking to their friend has seen you initially in a group situation and wondered more than actually got any information out of you. Yeah, you are somebody who is reserved. You are reserved until you know people well. You've got the Chariot card here. I think you're quite passionate once you know somebody. You've got the Seven of Wands and the Seven Pentacles here. And it makes me think of somebody who is quite protective of themselves and somebody who likes situations to be nurtured. So there's that earthy feel of wanting to feel like it's under control, and you don't mind waiting a long time to get something. The fire people and, you know, the airy people, sometimes they rush into relationships and they want it to bang straight away. You have probably an air of patience about you and an ability to take things smoothly, but there's a passion behind you here. We were just talking about Cancer Marses earlier in the first spread, and I don't know whether you have that. Cancer Mars is very sensual. It's one of those things that I don't think a lot of people actually pick out. There's something to do with the cardinal confidence and that ability to actually read the situation and know what the other person wants. This is the feel I'm getting from you. There's a real confident air, but reserved air, and there's a passion underneath you. So it's like sexy person in armour. People can sense it, but they can't quite get to you because you're not giving a lot initially. And this is what this person is telling their friend, that they want to draw you out more because they want to know more about you. They can feel your presence, they can feel your sexuality, but I don't think you give out a lot initially. From what I would say is a reasonably stable background where you may have travelled a lot. There may have been a lot of moving around in your home environment. You may be sort of a forces parents where you've moved to different areas. I don't know, I'm thinking of Hong Kong here, but there's got something to do with either moving a lot in your childhood, and that gives you probably some sort of exotic air. Maybe you've been to lots of different countries, or maybe you're just or you've grown up in a home environment where there's been lots of different influences. There's been people brought into your home from different countries, perhaps exchange programs. There's been an air of stability, I think, and that comes out very much in your personality. But there's also an air of what I would say mutability or flexibility with regards to what I would say your childhood of having lots of different influences. Maybe somebody who speaks lots of different languages, or somebody who's not afraid to move. So I wonder whether there's something in your childhood. It could be either ways. It could be parents that have been hard on you, or parents as in how you perceived it, or not been hard on you. So there could be that ability to either fall back on the stability of what your parents provided and give you the confidence to move, or perhaps they haven't provided you that stability, but it's actually made you more independent to move. And this is the kind of impression that you're giving them so far, of somebody who is very confident, quite reserved, but there's something in you that can move. There's something that's not totally fixed. Sometimes with this energy you get a fixed feeling of somebody who's very stubborn. You don't have that at all, and that's what they're saying. This person admires your stability. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm thinking of somebody here, and I'm going to see what your sexuality power comes out like before I say it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to say it. I was listening to this woman today when I was walking my dog, and I can't remember her name. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm going to say Rosalia. Rosalia. I don't know. Rosalia. When I was thinking, in England we would say Rosalia, which makes it sound like some sort of apple pie pudding, but I'm assuming it's harder vowels and it's Rosalia, but that's who you remind me of. There's something about that woman that is exciting. That woman, exciting but very sexual and sensual. It's the way that she pronounces her words, it's the way that she sings, and her body type is just beautiful. This is what I'm feeling with this pal, somebody who's sensual, grounded and sexual, because this is your fifth house, what I'm thinking here, and this is basically how you approach love. There's a very direct feeling with the King of Wands and the Lovers, and it makes me think of a real Taurusy feel of being very sexual, very grounded, and very much at home in your body. And that's the lady I was thinking of. There's something about her, the way that she owns her body, the way that she looks, her face, and her voice together gives me a Taurusy feel, but then you've got this for your fifth house, which makes it really sexual. So this, Rosalia. Oh, somebody foreign, tell me how to pronounce that. Somebody, where's she from? Is she Basque or something? I don't know, Rosalia. I'm going to sing that to myself until I can say it properly. But there's a real feeling of earthy groundedness and very exciting sexuality. Somebody who is very at ease with their sexual presence, the way that they come across, and their body, and they own it, and there's no shyness, there's no awkwardness. It's just yeah. That's how they would be describing you to their friend. Something very easy about your sexuality, something as if it's very natural. They would possibly be saying that you are perceived by the outside world as being very successful in work. The Queen of Cups, the Six of Wands, is somebody that makes life move, and if it's a work situation that you're very much in charge of yourself. The Ten of Cups, you could work with children, you could work with families, or there could be just something very nurturing about you. But I wonder whether in your day-to-day routine there's been movement and walking away, or you're actually in your mind, even though you appear to be very much in control of your, I would say, work, how you earn your money. I wonder whether they sense there's something that's not quite fulfilling you in that area, because you have got in that area of what I would say routine. So it doesn't have to be work, it could be just something you do every day. You've got the Tower and you've got the Five of Cups, and it's almost as if you've been knocked out and left on the floor. So there's change going on in your life. This is what they're sensing, and that's what they would be saying to their friend. You're very grounded, you're very capable of coping with anything that life throws at you. That's very obvious. The Three of Wands has got something to do with group situations, and I sense at the beginning that you're probably quite quiet and reserved, but there's something to do with your life at the moment and a lot of change going on, and they know this, and that's what they would be telling their friends. As a long-term potential, they would be saying that there's something to do with the way that you communicate that overexcites them. There's something, the Empress card again makes me think of that very feeling I tried to explain earlier about sensuality and owning your body. Very feminine. It doesn't really matter if you're a man, there's just that ease with beauty and the beauty of yourself. It's just awareness of who you are regardless of your size and shape and the way that your body moves or doesn't move. There's something that I think you both appreciate. I think you appreciate yourself and this person recognises that, just because there's an ease of owning yourself there, which sounds a strange thing to say, I know. The Ace of Swords, I wonder whether that with the Eight of Wands, it's got to be to do with exciting communication. The Eight of Wands is the ones that fly through the air, and it's like Eros's arrows, and it's just Mercury Sagittarius is fun. This has got to do with something to do. This has got to do with something to do. It makes me think of a situation of a conversation that has gone on when you two have been closer. It makes me think of being very young and being really cocky with my cousin. Not the cousin with Benji the cat, and my Uncle David used to fix bikes and he was nice looking, so we used to go around and be really cocky with him. And then when my cousin went home, I was totally silent because I'd lost my friend to be cocky with, and I was so shy that nothing was coming out. This makes me think of you being able to communicate in private with this person, but you don't like group situations. And this person is telling their friend that when we're together, the sparks fly, the communication is easy, and there's something beautiful about that. There's something very Venus about that makes them feel really connected to you. And it's almost as if their friend's saying back to them, but he or she seems so quiet in the group situations. What do you see in them? And they would be saying, you wouldn't understand. That type of feeling. Let's use these. Still getting that feeling with regards to, I would say, what they would perceive. I don't know if there has been sexual contact, but there's some, I keep saying something to do. Something to do. What to do. Of being reserved, but not in private. Once again, there's that feeling of you almost stepping out of your comfort zone, but when it's close and personal. A real watery feel, and possibly it may be, I don't know, a real earthy feel of not sharing yourself with everybody, but keeping it all for one-to-one contacts. So I wonder whether you may be quite reserved isn't the word I'm thinking of, but you enjoy one-to-one contacts more than, like Sagittarius. I know you got the Sagittarius card up here. They like experience, so they like lots of different partners, and it's just the way it is. I wonder whether you like a few partners, but really in-depth relationships. They may be saying this to their friend, that there's something that when you're together, that you really do come out of your shell, which they find, and the word is sensual, and got to be sensual with the Empress card there, and this feeling of what I would say that Mars in Cancer feeling. Doesn't have to be Mars in Cancer, it's just strength and understanding emotions and a presence that's very confident in their sexuality but quiet with it. This card was a ninth house. It's very similar to the first pile. You've got the Knight of Swords, somebody running away. You've got the Six of Swords with travel over water. You've got the Two of Wands with a woman looking out of the window with a map and a globe. So I can't even actually interpret it as in, I'm not going to interpret it as in spirituality or how you find your religion. To me, it just speaks of travel. And that's what I was picking up here with the fact that you probably seem quite very stable is your personality, but also quite flexible as well. Somebody who can change their mind if there's not that, if you like fixed signs. They've made their mind up and they've counted to 10 and that's it. Don't get that feeling with you. I think you know who you are and you are very assured of yourself, but you are flexible enough to move, and I think that you can move house quite easily. There's a sense of excitement with actually discovering the world and travelling and moving, because these cards are all movement, and this is a 9th house feel to me. They think that you could possibly, if you're in the situation, just pack your bag and travel for a whole summer, or move house with them, or if you're separate, you could adjust your lifestyle to go and live with them. That's what they possibly could be telling their friend. Fixed but not. I wonder whether you are somebody who has a lot of friends because you're very open with your friends. Once again, it makes me think of you open up with people who are close to you. And I wonder whether you've got a choice of a lot of different friends, but I wonder whether you don't actually, or you haven't actually in the past kept in touch as well as you should have done. You've got the Sun, you've got the Seven of Cups. So the Sun, with regards to friendships, has a feeling of somebody who's very open, somebody who's very warm, somebody who's very playful. The Seven of Cups makes me think that you have a choice of lots of different friends, but the Seven of Swords makes me think that you have almost pushed them aside a bit at the moment. Could be COVID, just basic life situations. And your biggest secret, what they would be saying to their friend, there's something about this man, there's something about this woman that has an air of vulnerability that I can actually identify with. There's a softness inside you, there's a sweetness and a romantic air about you. That this is, to me, somebody who finds earthy people or watery people very attractive for all those parts of them that actually are earth and air, that ability to take things slowly, that sensuality, that I'm just about to say something like somebody who recognises worth in people. They would be saying they can see your worth, and they could, because they think that's what you give out to everybody else. What's the word where it's quality, not quantity? To me, this pile is. Right, are you ready for your song? So that's what they would be telling their friends. All those things, quality, not quantity, is probably what I would sum it up as. And that's what they would be describing you to their friends as. Sorry. Right, okay, let's find this song. I'm going to apologise for this. Every song I have ever chosen out of my Spotify has been absolutely awful. Are you ready? I'm going to switch it off and I'll write the words down for you to see if we can sum your pile up with regards. Hey, I actually do have a song that actually sums what I'm thinking your pile makes me feel like, which I'm really pleased about. The first song I got didn't have any words to it, so this is the second one. So here you go. This is what they would be saying to their friends. Okay. This is what they would say to their friends. She has the grace to hold themselves whilst others around them crawled. They crawled out of the woodwork, this is not talking about you, and whispered into your brain. Even though you would walk on life's treadmill, you are quality all the same. That's what I got. This is Elton John, Candle in the Wind. I don't actually listen to Elton John. This is something I had to do for work, but There's that feeling of quality and that feeling of, regardless of what life throws at you, that you would remain the same and have a sense of grace about you. And I've got a feeling all the way through this part, that's how this person sees you and that's what they admire about you. So I'm going to finish there with that one. I hope that makes sense. There's a real grounded feel to that and a real mature feel to it. So anyway, I hope it helps you and I hope to see you again. Bye. High pile number 3, let's have a look how they would describe you to their friends. On initial impressions, they would probably say my first impressions of you, whether you're male or female, was a feeling of lightness, a feeling of being able to communicate and a feeling of being fun, but there's still that hidden something behind you, behind your eyes, behind your movements, where they feel there's some sort of sexuality pushing towards them. There's a real sort of sexual contact, but without contact. It's that feeling of almost when you're next to somebody, there's a magnetic pull, but there's an air of lightness with regards to what you're actually doing in mundane reality. It's like, yes, I met this person, they were really easy to talk to, we spoke about this or we did this together, but I could feel something very strange between the pair of us. That's probably how they would start off the conversation. There was just this underlying something that I felt like I was pulled towards and I didn't really know what it was initially. It was just like a feeling of unexpected attraction, because I think you're coming across as very light and airy. There's a feeling of smoothness and there's a feeling of being able to communicate, and this person can't decide whether it's what they don't know. They're just juggling that. They don't know what's going on below the surface. It's like you've moved out of the room and they said, who was that? Even though people watching you initially would have thought, oh, they've gone well. But it's that type of feeling. It's almost as if they had to stop for a few minutes after you left your last contact and think, that felt really easy, but I feel a bit raw. That's what they would say to their friends. Nobody else would have noticed it was just them that felt there was more behind your first contact. Next one came out then. These cards together make me think almost again, this is a line of communication. So the communication, Page of Swords, is very easy, very free-flowing. You've got the Page of Swords twice. It's somebody who chooses words that sound good and makes them actually fit into the conversation. So there's an ease there and there's just that ability to communicate very easily. The Sun card makes me think of warmth. It makes me think of a contact with the King of Cups where it's felt as if you both like each other initially. So the communication is easy and there's a feeling of warmth to each other. But this is the Death card. This person will be telling their friend that, yeah, we got on really well. I met them for a short time. We communicated a little bit. It was just easy. There was just like a contact there that felt like we both liked each other. And then afterwards, I couldn't speak. Afterwards, I just couldn't really collect myself because I felt like there was something invisible behind it that actually shook me a little bit. With regards to picking up and explaining to their friend I'm not going to say home life, your roots, where you've come from. They could possibly say something like you have moved around a lot, or you have had a childhood, or give the impression that you have a childhood where there's been a lot of flux. Maybe your parents are divorced, maybe somebody else came in to help you through a troubled time in your youth, or there's that feeling of movement, separation and some intervention. The Six of Pentacles makes me think that you possibly had help. You could have lived with a granny for a while, you could have been brought up by an older brother or sister, or you could just have moved a lot around the country or moved to other countries. So this person would say, with regards to your roots, that you are very flexible and that you may have a closeness with somebody who has helped you, or a closeness with somebody in your childhood, like a granny, as I've just said, or a brother or sister, or auntie or uncle, or you may have just lived with another family for a period of time. There's movement here with regards to your roots. There's movement and travel and maybe healing, walking away from a situation. So it could be travel, it could be a flux within the family situation. But the Six of Pentacles makes me think that either you have used that in your career or your life, or how you interact with other people, with a sense of being able to see, to recognise it in others, and you help other people who feel uncomfortable if their roots are ungrounded in some way. And I don't know if that comes out in your career, or whether your person's roots are ungrounded and you both recognise that in each other. But there's a flexibility there, and there's an understanding. It has a feeling of maturity with it. Somebody who has had some flux in their early years or at their teenage years, but is still quite grounded, so they understand. It's like a Chiron field. They understand the movement and the flux, but they help other people, and they recognise it and help other people. And I wonder if that's something you share. Your love nature, they will be telling their friend that your love nature is very direct. You communicate quite well with regards to what you both want out of a relationship. The Knight of Swords with regards to this pile here makes me think that you're very open in saying that you're attracted to somebody, because the Temperance card here is like a Sagittarius feel. The Knight of Swords communicates well and is quite forthright and likes to move forward and say what they think. There's something to do with communication that's forward moving. Temperance makes me think of honesty. The Justice card here makes me think that if the relationship is not allowed in some way, which sounds ridiculous, I know, but if you are in other relationship, there's a sense of morality there. So this very possibly could be, they would be telling their friends that we discussed that, at the moment we can't be together, but everything's above board. She or he is very above board with the situation that we're both in, and possibly the attraction that you both feel. And even if there's nothing said, it's understanding there. There's a straightforward quality about this. There's an honesty, and there's a sense of fairness with regards to love relationships. So the only thing I can interpret it is if a love relationship isn't allowed, and there's just a sense of fairness, morality, and understanding that is straightforward. And they admire you for that, I think. They admire you for being honest. The Temperance card with the Knight of Swords doesn't make me just think of communicating in a love nature that you communicate very clearly, but it makes me think of somebody who is not needy, somebody who doesn't need somebody else in a relationship, is quite happy to be on their own rather than take a second class relationship. Second hand, second class, second best. This makes me think, possibly with regards to the world at the moment, that they would also be saying that your life has changed at the moment, and you may be stuck at home quite a lot, because you have got the Four of Swords and the Four of Wands for your daily routine. So it could be somebody who's stuck at home or works from home. The Five of Swords makes me think you may have even lost your job. The Eight of Swords and the Two of Wands and the Six of Cups down here, it does make me feel that there is some flux with regards to your work situation or your position in the outer world rather than your inner world. I wonder whether you're changing jobs. I wonder whether you are thinking whether you're going to return to your old job, or whether you're just deciding, and they would be saying to their friend, possibly, that this person doesn't know what to do at the moment. They're not quite happy with the situation that they've been running along with for the past couple of years. They're wondering whether to change jobs, or there's some movement in a job, or the way that you appear to everybody in the outside world. So it doesn't have to be work, but I've got a funny feeling it's got something to do with routine. Doesn't feel like relationships, doesn't feel like a change in relationships as yet. It's just a feeling of routine and a feeling of how you actually possibly earn your money. There's flux, and I wonder whether there's distance or whether you're at home quite a lot or something has been taken unfairly, and you're almost like finding your ground. You're wondering whether you want to go back to the past or whether you want to move forward. I don't know whether, this feels like quite a strange power. They'll be saying to their friend that this may actually affect your contact with them. I don't know. It just makes me think of movement and possibly restriction, working from home, and not really, possibly wondering what's going to happen next, where you're going to go next, and whether you want to return to a position that you've been in for quite a while. Maybe. Two of Wands is almost looking out but not starting something. The Six of Cups makes me think that your mind's moving back to the past. Eight of Swords is some sort of anxiety or confusion. The Four of Wands and the Four of Swords here makes me think home, or makes me think staying at home, not doing that much movement out of your vicinity. I was going to say not doing much movement, but I realised as I was saying it makes you sound like you sat on the couch. So I said vicinity, as in you're not actually moving away from your home. Probably could just be lockdown. The Five of Swords is wondering. It's not sitting right with you, and they may have picked up that. Okay. With regards to, they would possibly say to their friend, they're not sure whether you would like a commitment. They're not sure whether you're looking for commitment. It's almost as if you could have been in a relationship and just come out of a relationship, or whether you've been married before. There's an air of defensiveness about you. You may almost be nudging towards possibly thinking about it, but there's not a great sway to have a commitment. That's what they're picking up from you. You're enjoying watching, but you almost... They would feel like you're pushing them back a little bit and just watching. With regards to long-term commitments, I think let me pick these cards out there. Sexuality or sex, in regards to sex, there's a feeling of what I would say enjoying the play between one being submissive and one being more dominant. I wonder if you come across, or they pick up, that you may enjoy that interplay, and I'm wondering whether I'm trying to see what I pick up from you. I don't get submissive or dominant, but I wonder whether in the sexual arena maybe there is that game playing there. And maybe that's what they would be saying. I don't know whether they're actually talking about their role, whether they actually see you as more submissive or more dominant. Maybe they're just wondering there. It makes me feel a little bit of game playing. I don't get this from your pile here, but with regards to sexuality, there's a shifting roles. I need some more on that. I'm not sure, to be honest. Your first impressions are being able to talk really well and having a strength of character and a very sort of dominant air, maybe. I wonder with the Queen of Wands here, with how you come across in the strength, whether they're wondering whether you are quite upfront, quite forward. And I wonder whether they're wondering what part they play. You probably know as I'm doing this whether you may be wondering whether your person is more submissive than you. I don't know. Okay, let me think of questions to get on with this. wonder whether you've got the Page of Swords there, and then you've got that you perceive them as the Page of Swords, but then they've got the Eight of Wands there. Have you had the Eight of Wands here? I think you may perceive them as being more playful than you. I know this isn't what they're saying to their friend. There's something quite childlike but very honest about the Page of Swords and the Eight of Wands together. There's something very honest, forthright in the way that you communicate. This person probably has expressed their attraction to you. You're coming across as the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So you basically top trump them with swords here. So the King of Swords is somebody who is more in control of the way that they speak and the way that they communicate, and the Ace of Pentacles has a beginning, which I'm trying to think of a sexual way, somebody who starts things off, and I'm wondering whether they think that you're more dominant. So that may be what they're saying to their friends, that you top trump them with regards to, well, I think that they wonder whether you are more dominant with regards to physicality. I don't know to be honest. I'm going to need more of that. That's bugging me a little bit. And I wonder whether they think that you've got more experience than them. I wonder whether they think they're talking to their friends and saying whether they wonder whether you've had more relationships than them, and whether it makes them feel a bit. You've got the Star, which is distance, and I just think distance and the Star and the World together make me think of far-reaching, and then the Three of Brushes is sending something off and waiting for it to come back. There's that travel feeling. There's that feeling, I think, with regards to, if this is a sexuality power, they feel that you have been around more than them. There's just that feeling that you may have had more partners or you're more experienced. Even if you haven't had lots of partners, I wonder whether they pick that up and they feel that they are not experienced enough. Maybe that's what they're saying to their friends. They wonder whether they can actually measure up to you. A slight feeling of inadequacy here with regards to sexuality and them talking to their friends. I don't know why. You do come across initially as the Queen of Wands and Strength. Maybe just very confident in your body, maybe just very confident in the way that you actually present yourself, and they're picking this up as a sexual vibe, and they're wondering, because there's openness here, and they're wondering whether they're actually going to be a little bit overwhelmed because they feel as if they haven't quite got it all in the bag yet. Oh, I don't know. Let me keep going. Okay. With this part, I wonder whether they would tell their friends that you are quite guarded with regards to your values, with regards to how you perceive life as a bigger picture. There's an air of ease and happiness about you, but there's also an air of not really. Nine of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. Somebody who does their own thing and doesn't discuss it very much. Somebody who has their own set of morals. Somebody who gets moving on where they want to go and what they feel is needed, but they don't feel need to discuss it. Somebody who has a sense of inner value but doesn't put a name on it. And they don't need to say that I have these values from some religion. I have these values from some form of spirituality. It's an understanding and a happiness with your inner self, but without having to explain it, because that's who you are. You may be somebody who picks up all different religions, different impressions of people, and knits it into yourself without knowing how you've done it yourself. It makes me think of self-worth that you carry around with you, that makes you have a good grounding, but you don't really know how to explain where you've got it from, or they don't know how to explain it. So they would be saying, you seem more worldly wise than them. That's what they would be saying. Sorry, the phone's there. That's for your song that won't actually knit in with this, but I'm going to force it. I'm going to force it in. With your friendship groups, I think they would be saying that you have an ease of contact with all your friends. There's something to do with the way that it may not be lots of friends, but there's something to do with ability to connect and to speak very freely. But it does make me think that you have possibly been separated from your friendship groups. They may have initially met you with friends, but this makes me feel that you may not be with them at the moment, or they may have met you in a group. Seven of Pentacles makes me think that you may have just a few friends that you keep in contact with at the moment, and that could be just circumstances at the moment. Right, let me see. Whoops. And this is like a secret pile. You've got Ace of Wands, which makes me think back to this pile of sexuality. The Three of Cups is a group situation. The Five of Pentacles as feeling uneasy. I think your person feels less than with regards to you, and that's what they would be saying to their friends. I don't feel like I measure up to this man or this woman. I feel they've had more life experience than me. I don't know if this person is younger than you, but they see you, and I don't know whether this is like projection of maybe something that they feel is inferior themselves. They see you as knowing more and being more experienced and being more in control of yourself. There's that strength in that Queen of Wands I keep looking at that makes me just think that you have a strong character. And your person wants to measure up to that. That's what they would be saying to their friends. Right, let me just go into your song. I'm going to switch off and find your song. This never works for me, and I don't normally do it, but I'm going to do it today and see if I can find something that fits this feeling of you. Wish me luck. Okay, here you go. I got the first song on Spotify, and I tried to pick a group of similar songs, and they went straight to this song. This is it, and I can actually see it, so I'm actually reasonably happy. Okay. Man by Devendra Banhart. Is it Banhart? Okay. From the day I was born, always been a second slow. I come from a long land of people who never waited in life. I've got a dumb dance inside my pants, man. I've watched all the latest songs on Bing Bong. I've heard a gift horse into town. Free subscriptions all around. You look like you could use a night in heaven. This is probably more of a reflection of what I listened to, but to me it made me feel, with regards to your person talking to their friend, that you almost feel as if you're out of their league. They feel childlike next to you, as if you've got everything set. And I don't know what your childhood was like, whether you have seen a lot more than them, whether you've travelled a lot, whether you've just come from what I would say a life that has experienced a lot early on. But that's the feeling I'm getting. Somebody who has explained to their friend they don't know where they fit in with you because you seem to be very collected, and they feel immature compared to you. I've got a dumb dance inside my pants, man. Don't you love it? I said on the last line, you look like you could use a night in heaven. I think this person sees you as a stronger partner. When I was struggling with the sexuality bit there, I wonder whether this person comes across to me as more immature, but I wonder whether they like fitting into that position. You know, whether there's that Cancer moon type of feeling, where they like to feel as if they're nurtured. I don't know. Or if there's a Gemini feel, I don't know, that's just Devendra Banhart's, he's just so Gemini, isn't he? How silly is he? How lovely is that? This feeling of, I think your person feels like they don't measure up to you in some way, that you seem to be very much in control of yourself, very much in control of your life and where you're going. And you both might like that dynamic, I don't know, but that's what I'm getting. I hope that helps in some ways. That's what they would be telling their friend, that they admire your quality, the way that you conduct yourself, and they feel that they can learn from you. And I know that's not probably what most people want to hear, but that's what I'm getting from this pile. It's them almost feeling younger than you. I don't know whether they are younger than you, but they definitely feel it. There's a sweetness, there's a childlike quality, and there's a want to almost run alongside you because they feel that what you have experienced will rub off on them. I don't know if that actually feels right or feels true to you, because that's a really weird pile, but honestly, that's what I'm getting from all of that here and the song that came out. This is why I don't choose songs, because I never know, well, I do know what's on my Spotify and nobody else needs to know it. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me today. I hope you can get something from that, even if it's just a couple of things that ring true and, you know, make you feel like you understand yourself a bit better. That's all I'm hoping for. So I hope to see you again. Thank you for joining me. Bye.